shift blues, so we fire up the stream. Two dads raising hell, chasing whiskey dreams. Soap suds spilling like some midnight truth. Talking live from the tub, don't need no booth. Two dads, one tub, where the whiskey flows. Streaming half naked where the wild tales grow. Laugh so hard, spit whiskey on the mic. Night shift rebels broadcasting live. Lost connection can't kill this show. Reset the route.
What's
up,
going
everybody?
on, guys?
How's it going? Another night of two dads, one tub.
From the home base this time.
Yes, from the home base. I'm always at home, so that's nothing new.
Yeah. Oh,
But
holiday
anyways.
weeks are good.
Holiday
I'm actually-
weeks.
I'm actually home next week too.
That's good.
So
That's
yeah.
good.
So,
I'm gonna order you a special shirt for next week.
oh yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna look like you're naked.
Hold on. Okay, that's exactly where I thought this was going. Okay, I was gonna say, can you guys keep your like flirty talk for like after the show? I don't think anyone wants to
Why?
see that.
Oh
Why?
yeah.
I think they would enjoy it.
See, that needs to be an
Um,
Urban Dictionary definition. Kool-Aid Manning, when you bust through a wall naked.
It might be. You never know.
I'll Google it. Give me a second.
It probably is. Oh yeah, Google it.
I do.
Producers,
I am
get on it.
digging. I am digging the new shirt though.
Dude, it's sweet, man.
Yeah.
The Macho Man Randy Savage shirt's pretty badass.
You should be eating a Slim Jim right now in honor of it.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now. I put it on to come up here because I didn't wear it to softball. And I put it on before I come up here. And Rosemary goes, "Who's on your shirt?" And I said, "Macho Man Randy Savage." She goes, "Who?" I said,
Oh,
"He's
no.
one of my-" I was like, "He's one of my favorite wrestlers from the 90s." And she goes, "I don't remember him." I said, "He died shortly after you were born." I said, "But do you remember the Slim Jim commercials? Like the snap it to a Slim Jim. That guy?" I said,
yeah.
That's him. That's him." She goes, "No, I remember the skinny guy with the big hair." And I'm like, "I don't know who you're talking about."
The skinny guy with the big hair.
Yeah, that must have been well after me before Sasquatch got involved with Jack Links.
I don't know. I mean, Randy Savage still makes appearances in the Slim Jim commercials, so you know.
Yeah, he does. They did do an homage to him here recently.
They did with his likeness what they've done with Randy Travis's voice with AI, I guess, at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. She's like, "Well, how did he die?" And I said, "Steroids and drugs." The way real men went out in the 90s.
Yeah, that's the 90s wrestler dream, isn't it?
Okay, I have
Yep,
the Kool-Aid
that
Man
or-
update.
So
That are falling from the rafters.
Kool-Aid Man update. Let's hear it.
Kool-Aid Man on Urban Dictionary. A big talking bowl of punch who thinks it's cool to crash through your wall in your living room and say, "Oh yeah," while he wears tights. Fucking drink out of him. If it was me, it'd be like, no, you fix that goddamn wall before my dad gets back to work, you Kool-Aid Man, is the definition all the way back from 2005.
Okay. Well, they went a little cleaner than
What
probably
we would
should have.
Yeah,
I think our version's better.
I agree. Maybe we should submit it.
Ooh, and our Kool-Aid Man needs to have a little spout down at the crotch level. What?
Well, it's like a reverse gravity thing. I don't know if that
Yeah,
works. Does it have a plug on the end of it?
No, you got the
spigot.
Gatorade things.
Oh, a
The
spigot. I thought you were like talking like a teapot kind of thing to where the spout came out the bottom.
He busts through the wall, his spout's hanging out, and everybody runs over and blah, 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 blah,
What was that?
right
One
up
more time?
underneath it.
They did what again?
Yeah, you can clip that for later.
So, well, I guess we can get the funny part for a lot of you guys, but the brutal part for me at this point, the housekeeping.
You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it through this one.
I've been told this for the last 3 days. So, all right. Before we toss our guests into the conversational wood chipper that is this show, we've got some housekeeping to burn through. Hang tight. or we'll mail you an envelope full of glitter and wet regret.
It's like foreplay, but with fewer candles and more emotional debt. Think dry heaves, mystery bruises, and one promo code away from an identity crisis.
Mystery bruises? First up, Two Dads, One Tub goes live every Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern on Twitch and YouTube, uncensored, unhinged, and about one bad takeaway from a cease and desist from the Vatican. I know where that one's going.
Miss the live show? Don't worry. We put the mess on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and whatever sketchy app Howdy downloaded trying to watch adult cartoons on a flip phone.
And yeah, we've got merch. Shirts, mugs, hoodies, some cozy, some cursed. Links in the description. Buy something, wear it to a wedding, get disinvited from Thanksgiving.
We just dropped a new hoodie called Emotionally Moist. It's soft, ethically questionable, and smells faintly of regret and Axe body spray, just like Howdy's Roomba.
Speaking of, Howdy's not here tonight. He's currently recovering after trying to 69 with a Roomba while yelling jackpots every time it bumped a wall. Medics said the scene looked like a casino floor and a sex dungeon had a power outage. Hold on. This is perfect for the guest that we have tonight because on his streams, he has the blurb that says, "Plunder my dungeon, daddy." So I can imagine Howdy saying that while he was doing this.
We're not mad, just deeply confused and a little concerned that the Roomba keeps texting us for help.
Anyway, if you like the show or you just hate listening during your 10,000 steps of court-ordered cardio, hit us with 5 stars, leave a review, and lie to the algorithm. Get your weird uncle's DUI hearing. Say we helped. Say we healed. Say we helped Howdy learn boundaries, even though we know that's a damn lie.
All right, let's haul our guest into this chaos vortex before Howdy logs back in using a toaster and a prayer. What's up, Necro? Welcome in.
What's going on, guys? The housekeeping. Can we talk about that? Does the Roomba blink twice? Because I feel like it might.
It's got a safe word.
It's got a safe word. Okay, now we need to put a pineapple sticker on it. It needs to have a pineapple sticker on it now.
Oh my gosh!
No, I'd say its safe word is Zamboni.
Listen. You set the bar really high on this one, Panic. Not gonna lie.
They're only gonna get better. So Necro, if you don't know, I write these every week. Gas doesn't get to read them, and the whole goal is to make that happen right there, where he struggles to get through it.
I think mission accomplished. Like
it's like a 3-week-old tradition at this point.
So I wasn't sure where we were going to get him tonight. I didn't know if it was going to be the new hoodie, if it was going to be the Roomba scene, or the Vatican.
I will tell you exactly when it happened. It's when you were reading we just dropped a new hoodie called Emotionally Moist. I read down, and at the end of that, it says, just like Howdy's Roomba, and I was like, oh my God, where's this going?
So is there a backstory to the Roomba?
No, Howdy's just a bitch.
We're creating Howdy lore for everybody to sit here and think about on a daily basis. I'm
usually Switzerland in this relationship between Panic and Howdy, but they've been. It's almost like they've been doing a custody battle lately. So I'm kind of having to pick a side at some point.
No, you're okay. You're okay.
You want to go to mom or dad? That's the question.
Oh yeah.
But no, man. So what have you been up to, Necro? What have you been doing?
Working. Working a lot. I haven't been able to stream a whole lot this month, unfortunately, just because of work. But out here just sowing chaos. You know,
that has not gone unnoticed. We miss you, brother.
I know, and I apologize. Like I see the chats, and I'm just like, I worked 18 hours this past weekend. Like, it was supposed to be a holiday weekend, and I was working. Like, oops.
Is it just like emergency season for you or something? Like,
no, I'm a project services engineer, and I'm one of the highest in my company for this. And I am the only network engineer.
So you reprogram a lot of Roombas.
Yes. How do you think Howdy's is going so good?
It's got special attachments.
Special
It
inputs.
I had to 3D print them.
Oh, God. I'm still crying from gas laughing.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, so I guess, is it about time for you to get back to streaming? Like, are you going to be playing here soon?
After this weekend, actually, sorry, 2 weeks from now, yes. My crotch goblin is graduating high school, so I will not be on next weekend. But
fair enough. Fair enough.
Once in a lifetime deal, right? You know, graduate high school, get to kick them out. See you later, bye.
Hey, Andy's graduating, so
yeah, exactly. So probably beginning of June. May has just been crazy. Unfortunately,
May has been a weird month.
Yes,
It's done nothing but rain here.
It's been rainy and it's been great.
It's been, I don't know about here. I got a fucking hole forming in my front yard where the culvert busted.
It's raining.
Yeah. So the culvert is, so when my in-laws bought the house, it was a ditch down by the road. And my father-in-law's like, fuck that. I don't want that eroding over time like the one across the street. So the city we live in told him, well, if you buy all the stuff and you install it, we'll upkeep it. So he spent like $7,000 and filled it in and all that. He's like, I want to mow my yard and not fall in a ditch. So he did all that. Well, the city hasn't been upkeeping it, and I'm pretty sure part of the culvert's gone because now I've got a giant hole where if it rains really hard, you just watch water come up out of my yard like a fountain.
Oh wow!
Right there at the road.
That's not a good thing.
Well, and it's starting to erode, like eat away underneath the road as well, and that's starting to sink a little bit. So I called the city today to see if they'll come out and fix it. But who knows? Who
Good luck with
knows?
that.
They probably won't.
City governments can be fun.
Well, the nice thing is they don't have it on file that we installed it. Like it was personally installed, like that was 30 years ago. So those files have been purged. So they truly believe it's there. They truly believe it's theirs. Which was the whole point. Y'all take care of this shit.
Yeah, show me receipts from 30 years ago that I put this in and I'll fix it.
Yeah, show me proof.
Yeah.
The guy that was here is dead. He's not even alive anymore. So you've got no proof.
Nope. It's their.
He's still hanging around though.
It's their easement. It's their public right of way, so they're going to have to maintain it regardless if we put it in or not.
Yeah, and that was the whole deal. Is like we'll install it as long as we tied it. Like my father-in-law tied it into their storm drain. So he tied it into the culvert that actually runs under the driveways.
Okay. Yeah.
So all he did was just put the piping in the culvert pipe, and then backfill it. That was it. That's all he did. So, but yeah, so that's what it's been doing here in freaking May is just raining and raining. We had to go all the way to Dalton tonight for softball and for select tryouts, and they did it down there just to get out of the way of the rain.
Did it rain?
Pissed, and it's still pissed. Still pissed on the girls. So we'll see. We'll see how that one goes. There's just a lot of bullshit.
I actually got to mow the yard today.
So it was nice.
Just enough of a break.
Yeah, it was nice most of the day until this evening.
We triple teamed the yard. That way we could get it done as quick as we could, just in case it started raining again.
Yeah, it really has been raining a lot.
Yeah,
triple teamed the yard.
I'm not kidding when I say like 25 to 28 out of the last 35 days.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I've been waiting for like good thunderstorms to roll through, but they've missed us this year. Like they've all been up in Oklahoma or a little bit further south, and it's just like I just want a good tornado. Like, is that too much to ask for?
Shout out to Weapon and Tended. We've seen some pictures and heard them get like abruptly like end streams or leave chats and stuff like that. So
yeah,
so far so good.
Yeah, when Mermaid first got her new PC, a storm come rolling through, and she's like, "Guess what I have in the storm cellar with me?" I was like, "Your kids?" And she's like, "And my computer." She's like, "I unplugged it and brought it into the storm cellar with me, so it shouldn't get ruined." Priorities.
That's awesome. Hey, Preston. Oh, you got a word? You got a word?
I forgot to unmute my mic
busy.
for a second. He's
busy programming his Roomba.
No. I don't need to program.
I get it to do
I have
Howdy's.
I have Howdy's presets. It's fine. Funny enough, it's just a .json file, so I can also somehow plug it into OBS, and it's very disturbing what's on my screen right now.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, we started a little game last week between Panic and Gas. It is, in the spirit of our friend Pee Wee Herman, the Urban Dictionary Word of the Day!
Let's do it. Oh, speaking of which, I watched that documentary, and it's spectacular.
I can't wait to watch it.
It's actually good. Necro, have you seen that?
The documentary on Pee Wee Herman?
Pee Wee as himself.
No.
Is the name of it.
So typically...
Like that's how you get on lists.
Look, typically when documentaries are done about somebody that's already dead, it's somebody else doing it. Paul Rubens filmed his own documentary to talk about Pee Wee Herman. So, because it was an alter ego, it wasn't actually, they were technically two different people. So he was able to give a viewpoint as somebody looking at Pee Wee Herman instead of as Pee Wee Herman. So it was actually
his star on the Walk of
That's an interesting take.
His star on the Walk of Fame is Pee Wee Herman, not Paul Rubens.
Yeah.
Huh.
So yeah. Anyway, I haven't finished it yet, so we're trying to wait to have the full discussion about it after I finish it. But it actually very tastefully done. Like it's a good watch so far.
The only thing I didn't like is it doesn't name the triple feature.
It doesn't?
No, it talks about it, but it doesn't name it. So
I haven't quite gotten there yet. I'm like halfway through the second episode.
The world needs.
Luckily, we gave that to everybody.
The world needs to know about Nurse Nancy, Tiger Shot, and its Shark, and it's Turn Up the Heat. Is that the last one? I forgot that one.
Turn Up the Heat.
Yeah.
That may or may not be a future Night Shift shirt in some capacity.
It will be. It will be right next to the Emotionally Moist.
God.
That
all right.
Slightly of regret.
So, the way that this works is that in chat for the live version, Baka has a counter ready to go. You guys must use this word as naturally as you can in casual conversation. As many times as you can. Winner will get announced at the end of the podcast. Are you guys ready for the Urban Dictionary word of the day?
Hit us with it.
Shiddle. Can you try and tell me what you think that means?
Shiddle?
Shiddle.
Shit'll hit the fan?
Close.
Like that?
Close.
Oh, look at that.
That's like
southern.
That's the southern.
Come out
that's
of me.
that's the southern. I mean, I'm hoping that it's more like something with.
This little shit'll do it.
What is what's his name? Kittle for the 49ers. Maybe that was just an episode that he had on the sideline one day.
Yeah,
it's when you shit a little.
Yeah,
shit a little. Is that what it is? When you shit a little?
It's when you shit a little. So you have to try and use shittle as much as you can, naturally in conversation. Baka will be tallying.
Basically, like tonight we were on our way back from Dalton going down the interstate. My wife hit this huge puddle of water and I shittled and screamed because I thought we were going to die.
I think
Is
that's
that-
what happened. I think that's what happened when Howdy shittled when his wife walked in on him in the Roomba.
Nah, I don't think there is a wife.
It's
I
the
thought
it's the Roomba.
I was gonna say,
That's
isn't that
the
the
whole
Roomba?
guys. It's the Roomba.
The Roomba's got a wig.
If he takes it out to dinner, he's just putting food on the floor, so it's got something to sweep up.
The Roomba's name is Sharon. Sharon D's nuts.
God. Okay. Well, have fun with that.
Anyways,
Listen, Necro, we haven't talked about this yet, and I know this is something that you are probably passionate about, just like Panic and myself. How excited are you for Borderlands 4?
Oh, you had to go there. You just had to kick the puppy while it was down, didn't you?
I mean,
we like picking puppies.
No, we don't.
Shit'll get
kicks them
real as
all
I
the
go
time.
about this, but you guys have heard the controversies that have dropped, right? With the new TOS from 2K, with basically having a rootkit on your computer for anti-cheat.
No,
I haven't heard this. No.
Yeah.
See, we learn something every week about this game. So
yeah. So the two. Go ahead, Preston.
Well, I was gonna say, I have not updated them on any of the stuff because it feels like Randy Pitchford and 2K every single week say something so fucking stupid. My hype just gets less and less and less.
Yeah, as soon as I heard about the TOS changes for 2K, I was just like, nope, I'm done. So basically, the TOS update for 2K is their anti-cheat is going to be at root level on your machine, right? It's basically spyware to prevent you from cheating. Like, it's Borderlands. It's a offline, it's a cooperative gun. Like, why do I need to have a rootkit level anti-cheat on my machine other than you harvesting data from my computer? I'm not okay with you having full unfettered access to my machine just to play a video game.
I can get on board with that. But here's the one thing about this is I feel like as fast as Randy is coming out with this stuff and saying stupid crap, right? They are walking it back to a degree equally as fast.
That wasn't Randy Pitchford, though.
Okay.
That was 2K. That's that is their company that's producing and distributing the game.
So
Randy Pitchford basically said, if you don't pay $80, then you're not a real Borderlands fan.
So basically what you're telling me is that we're done with 2K now. We're not buying any more 2K games at all.
There's a reason I don't have Valorant on my machine. Like, I'm not putting you at the root level on it. It's just not happening. Like, I understand it for competitive shooters. I completely understand it. If you're okay with, agreeing to that, then by golly, go for it. But that's the invasion of privacy is getting real by these companies, so they can start pulling additional data. Like,
well, they can pull all the data they want while I play 2K25 golf.
So that's what I haven't looked into yet. Is if it's retroactive to any of their other titles. Because if it's retroactive to any other titles, I'm pulling all the 2K games off my machine.
That makes me sad.
Like, they completely killed the hype within a week because Pitchford came out with his crap, and then 2K's like, oh hey, BTW, we're gonna change the TOS. Good luck. Like,
well, and so to be fair on the $80 comment, I don't fault him for that. I mean, video games have been $80 since I was a kid. For the most part.
60. Where have you buying them?
60. So $60, $80. It's $20, man. You're paying a shit ton of money for stupid shit already that's going to sit in your attic. So why not just pay $20 extra and get enjoyment out of it? So that one, I don't have a problem with the $80 thing. He's not wrong. If you're a real Borderlands fan, you're going to pay the $80.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the context or his delivery, I don't know. Pitchford is a crazy individual. Like, he literally lives down the road from me.
So
crazy.
I'm pulling it up right now. It's Randy Pitchford tweet. Literally, it's gonna pull up. Basically, it was kind of the context in which he said it. Why is it not loading? My God.
Now let me clarify that. So in 1993, when I paid $45 to $50 for a Nintendo cartridge, that's no different than paying $80 for a game now. That was a shit ton of money in 93, 94.
Yeah.
It's not a huge difference.
$60 for me growing up.
Yeah,
I can get on board with that. The $80 isn't the big deal, but the 2K TOS thing that does make me shiddle a little bit.
Well, I think it was his response for that. People's reaction wasn't the fact that the game's going to be $80, because I'm firmly in the camp of games are now taking 6 to 7 years to develop for some of these companies. That is a long time to be putting investment into a game. And like Mario Kart 8, if you don't buy it with the bundle, people were originally complaining about that game being $80 if you don't buy it with the bundle. And then they also revealed that it's been in development since 2017. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. As games become bigger and more money and resources are being thrown on it, that makes sense. It was the attitude in which he was saying it, because the original tweet about everything that was talking about that he responded to was concerns about game prices going up with fears of a recession coming. That's realistically what it was about. That's less the
fair
issue.
enough.
The TOS stuff and the updates for that, everything I can find online so far is suggesting that it's starting with Borderlands. However, there's nothing stopping them from retroactively going back and updating things.
Yeah, and I don't think we're going to know fully until a new TOS gets updated to like Borderlands 3, Borderlands 2, or any 2K game. Because like, that's the biggest issue I have with it. Like, yeah, I understand. You could probably make a good argument for it going up $80. But my argument to that is, you look at Mass Effect, right? That game has been out for how long now? The campaign to that game, the story to that game, the development of that game, it was $60.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But
like,
my argument to that, do you go to the movie theater?
Nope.
To go watch movies? Okay. Well, most people. Here's the thing.
Ticket.
Nope. I could give two
No?
shits about the ticket. You're paying a shit ton of money for crappy popcorn every time you go.
You got to slight me like that. I love movie theater popcorn.
Look, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Tickets for the movies, they're what, $20, $25 now?
Yeah, but those all go to the studios. Like,
they go to the studios.
All cut from that.
They do. But the other $70 that you spent to go to the movies on top of that, is a large popcorn, a large Coke, and a pack of Junior Mints. You get 3 things for $70.
See, I don't get the popcorn. I get the big soft pretzel that fits in a large pizza box now,
and that's $35 just for that one pretzel. So
I love big soft pretzels.
So my point with that is,
no, and I get it.
We're willing to spend money on that.
Yeah,
but for a game cart, so
I just looked this up right now. So to bring up the Mass Effect in like 2008 example, if you're looking at a game in 2008 plus inflation, it's actually $90 equivalent today.
And that's fine. Like, if we're adjusting for inflation, like, the companies just need to come out and say that. Like, hey, we're adjusting for inflation. It's cost us X amount of dollars to develop this. We are going to price this game at this cost. I don't agree with like the universal, just across the board, every video game that comes out is going to be $80, right?
Oh,
like, if you can reasonably justify the money that you've dumped into it, that the base price of the game is going to be $80, sweet cheeks all day long. I have no problem shittling $80 out to get me a video game.
Let's go.
Right? But
well done.
You've got to justify it.
Here's the thing. I don't think every game that comes out is going to be $80.
No.
I think your AAA games, your Mario Kart Worlds, your Borderlands 4, your GTA 6, if it ever comes out, those games are going to be $80.
And that's fine. Just the question is it a slippery slope for the rest of those games to just go, oh, these games are $80, we're $80.
Well, that's what we're seeing
at
Microsoft, though. That's exactly what Microsoft just did. If you haven't been following news as closely as a lot of the big nerds, come November,
PV.
all games from Microsoft, if you're just buying it not on Game Pass, is $80 no matter what it is on Xbox or on the Microsoft Store, which is ridiculous. Nintendo has announced that games can be anywhere from $60 to $80 depending on development time and resources and all of that. They're actually
And that makes sense.
They are actually changing their pricing model depending on how intensive the labor was on that game.
And that totally makes sense and is justifiable.
My problem is I don't necessarily care about the labor of it. I care about the quality of the game that they put out.
Yeah.
If they put a quality game out for, and they're adjusting for inflation on that, $80 is it's still $80, and some people will struggle with that, but I can accept that.
Well,
but if they want us to pay $80 for what was that one that came out, Anthem?
Oh,
that
God, no.
just did not have a good launch. That was made by a AAA company.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is,
dude.
Exactly.
I think it was Ubisoft, wasn't it?
BioWare, EA.
Oh, there you go.
That makes sense.
It was their follow-up.
It was a Madden sports game.
It wasn't $80, but if it came out today, it probably would be.
Oh yeah.
What? But here's so another thing though is, Microsoft with Game Pass is going a lot of day one releases on Game Pass. So, and we're paying. I pay $20 a month for Game Pass because I have it for console side and for PC side. Now, when I go trade my Xbox Series X in for my Switch 2, I'll probably downgrade to just the PC pass.
The PC side.
But
you lose day one. You lose day one with that. You have to keep Ultimate.
Oh, well, okay. Then I'll just keep Ultimate.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. Like, I'm so Avowed or, say, Borderlands 4 releases day one on Game Pass. Well, I'm paying $20 a month for it. Well, over the course of the year, I still have Borderlands 4 for that whole year, and I'm paying $20. Now, I'm getting a shit ton of other games with it.
Yeah.
But essentially, the reason why you're paying that is for those day one releases and for some of these bigger games that you can get and have access. You can uninstall and install them when you want to play them versus just outright buying it.
And you get some retro games and stuff like that.
Yeah, you get a lot of retro stuff. So
just like
the indie games, things like that.
Speaking of retro games, Game Pass just did something cool this last week.
Games?
All of Activision's library from the Atari going up to like the early 3D consoles is now its own section in Game Pass. So if you want to look at Activision's entire history leading up before they were doing... Up before I think Bobby Kotick came in and bought the company and kind of rechanged it to a lot of licensed game stuff and Call of Duty. Like all of those old retro versions of those games is now the complete history is archived and on Game Pass now, which is insane.
I might actually get Game Pass just to play that.
Right? It's like if you want to play Pitfall, like you can go and play Pitfall, like for free.
I might actually go get that.
It's like
that'd be good.
Insane.
I wish Nintendo would do something like that.
Well, they do. Nintendo Switch Online members have basically almost the entirety of Nintendo's NES catalog, almost the entirety of their SNES catalog, a good chunk of N64 stuff, and now with the Switch 2, you're getting GameCube, and then I think if you pay for the highest tier, you get Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games now. But you have to
get a Switch too, just so I can play Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
So,
I missed that game.
Listen, Game Pass to me is 100% worth it, even if you just get it for a couple months. Have you ever played Grounded?
No.
Dude, you need to play Grounded. Grounded is such a good game. It's made by Obsidian.
I've been kicking around the idea of getting Game Pass because they're just, ever since starting streaming, like there's just so many games that it was like, hey, do you have this? Hey, do you have that? Hey, do you have this? Like, no, I don't. No, I don't.
And like 60% of them are on Game Pass.
Yeah, and it adds up real quick when you start buying stuff.
But
it does, and it makes it easier to do that.
But Grounded, if you want to see Grounded, if you haven't ever seen like a good playthrough on it, Panic and I are starting a new playthrough on Friday on our normal stream time, but Preston and Elijah on their channel are doing a 24-hour stream starting, I think, 3 Pacific time, so 6 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah, 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Pacific.
So
Gas
at 9,
Gas has got a big pee-pee.
that's right, and I did it. I did it naturally too. Right?
You did though. Like that was a good segue. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah. So, but anyway, if you want to see kind of what Grounded is all about, we're going to be playing it for like 5 or 6 hours on Friday.
Oh yeah.
During their 24 hours. So that's like the first collab that we are like Panic and I are actually doing with both Preston and Elijah.
Ooh, and I have ideas, Preston,
Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
for that. Because we're gonna do the multi-Twitch view, right?
Yeah, we're gonna
Like
do
the multicast.
So
Yeah.
I will be streaming my POV on my personal Twitch. Elijah will be doing his POV on the Preston versus Elijah channel, so that all 4 of us can have our POVs up for people to watch.
So,
that'd be
idea.
cool.
Are you done with Gas's avatar, his little PNG guy?
I am done with his PNG. I actually just finished it today.
Do you want to teach us how to set that up? And we actually stream on Friday with those versus our actual selves
Let me
to match the aesthetic
That
of
would be
y'all's
cool.
24-hour stream.
Now, after the podcast, go into the IT channel in the Night Shift community. If you're listening right now and you want to join the Night Shift, ask us or click the comment down below in podcast networks everywhere. I literally said a tutorial on the VTuber/PNG tuber software that we use. If you think that looks
Okay.
super simple, I will literally do it in that style, and you guys just download that software, and then it automatically green screens. So you just have to chroma key it in OBS.
Yeah, well, I was just
That would be
thinking,
cool.
we're kind of hijacking into your 24-hour stream for this collab. Why not do it in the PvE style
I'm down.
instead of doing it?
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm down. Let me get that all set up and send you all of the files for that, because it'll work. It'll be cool. Well, I'm all for
Then
it.
I can stream naked.
You can Pooh Bear it.
I can Pooh Bear it.
Never. As all of a sudden it malfunctions. US ban.
Well, they won't be able to see it anyways. So let's be honest.
Wait, zoom in enough. Hold on. Pinch to zoom work.
But
I was
okay.
riding with a salesman last week, and I told him about my newfound word, poo bearing, and I think it made him shiddle.
It
He
probably
was
was.
laughing so hard.
I
Good
think
Lord,
when it
I-
comes to the conversation, though, bringing us back on track, when it talks about like game prices and also like if we want to throw in Game Pass on top of it, right? There's 2 interesting points. Number 1, I don't think anybody actually would care about the inflation thing for an $80 game if the quality was like exceptional, like truly exceptional. I think like GTA 6 is probably going to come out at $80 to $90. Like I guarantee you that they'll
I
probably
mean, it should.
yes.
I
And
could see that one. I could see that one being like the first like
100.
non-collection edition $100
Or
game.
like $100 base price.
$100 base
That's
price.
gonna be the game that I don't buy. Well, I don't own any of them, so it wouldn't be anything different.
Yeah, I guarantee you we're going to like if the game is truly exceptional, I don't think people will bat an eye, especially because games like GTA after the first year of their life, they always drop the price. Rockstar is always really good about doing those things because they want people not going in for the single player. They want people going in for GTA Online because that is their cash cow now.
Oh,
Mhm.
100%.
Yeah. But I think what's interesting when we talk about Game Pass into this equation, though, sales numbers for individual games across all platforms usually gets released by NPD every single month. NPD, or it's not NPD anymore. They're a different company name, but there's a Michael Pachter. You can find him on, I think, Blue Sky and Twitter. He's a business analyst for just game sales online if you really want to know the nitty-gritty number stuff. Microsoft sold more games on Sony's platform than Sony did last month.
That's because, so the whole console war thing back in the day,
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of having nothing but like console specific or
Oh, yeah.
console exclusive titles.
Oh yeah.
Like I really think that hurts your business just overarchingly. But Microsoft's like, yeah, you can sell our stuff, and PlayStation's just been holding out saying, no, you're not going to be selling PlayStation stuff. Like they could be unlocking a huge market.
Oh,
Because for the price of 2 consoles, why not just get a gaming PC and then not have to worry about it?
so here's the crazy part. So fun fact for those listening, there is no PvE podcast happening after this episode this week because we're going to record it during the 24-hour stream, and it's not going to be gaming news related at all this week. So this is my chance to vent and talk gaming news stuff. The rumor is the next Xbox is going to be more Windows based, and it's going to allow you to play Steam and Epic.
Yeah,
It is.
I've heard that.
Yeah,
It's been confirmed.
It's been confirmed at this point. Yeah. So
I'm 90% certain it has, yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be the crazy
It's
part.
basically a computer now anyway.
Yeah,
Like, it is literally a Corsair 1 just shoved in a Microsoft logo.
So basically the next Xbox is going to be just a gaming PC that they hand out to the masses at
a micro gaming PC.
Yeah, a micro gaming PC that they hand out to people. That's going to be like, it's a benchmark for companies to hit for a gaming PC. And if at that point Sony is still doing games a year delayed on PC, Microsoft's just going to have everything on their platform, plus Microsoft investing in the streaming of their games to your device with their whole ad campaign of this is an Xbox, everything you can stream to is an Xbox. Microsoft is realizing that the console war kind of bullshit that like Nintendo and Sega started with needs to die for them to thrive. Because if we're just talking console hardware, Microsoft hasn't been good since the 360. Like,
and even then, the 360 had the red ring of death. But they don't make their money off of the console. That is a one-time buy, right? Yep. Like your bread and butter is coming from the content that you're pushing out to that console. Like, just push it out to everybody. The more people you can play it and download it, the more your sales are going to be.
Yeah, I think
Microsoft has figured that out.
I think Microsoft is more like concerned with how do we get people in an Xbox ecosystem versus how can we get people to buy our box.
Yeah,
and like I feel like the only company going forward that's going to have like the old school traditional console loop and cycle as we knew it from like years gone past is because they will never grow out of their ways will be Nintendo. And
well, I mean, they're their own niche.
Yeah,
Nintendo's Nintendo.
Yeah, they march to the beat of their own drum, and that's someone who loves Nintendo's games and hates their business practices.
Yeah, their business practices are scum.
Yep. And if you want to hear more about how much I hate their business practices, you can go listen to the Preston versus Elijah podcast where I bitch about it every single week.
Was that episode 4?
Episode
and 3,
episode 2, not 3. 3 we talked about. Episode 3 is the only one where I didn't bitch about Nintendo's business practices so far because we only talked about D&D.
Well, let me clarify that. You barely talked. Kai talked most of that episode, and it was the best one yet.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But also, my girlfriend is
I just want her to be my friend.
That shit'll start something, okay? You really need to be careful with that.
That shit'll start with something. Also, like, one, Kai does adore you, Panic. She's like, is Panic watching your stream right now? I go, he's lurking, yeah.
Always lurking.
But, like, with all of that being said, we're in a transitional part of the industry right now that's just weird, just because, like, people, not to bring up, like, politics in a deep way, but, like, people are concerned, what way is the economy going? Are we going into a recession or not? And I think people are just worried, but also, like, once, this isn't new, gaming prices, like, GameCube games, PS2 games, original Xbox games, $50, right? The next generation went up by $10. That generation lasted longer because of the recession during that time, and games stayed $60 for 2 generations at that point.
Well,
they also revamped the generations on those too. They didn't really come out with like true next gen consoles until like a few years ago. Because like a
PlayStation 4 is just a souped up PS3, and same thing with the Xbox One, and like the only one out of that was really a soup up was the One X for like actual like hardware inside of it. So it's like the actual generational leap, you're right, is between 3 and 5. But even then, there's another podcast I listen to. I joke on both podcasts that one day we will be like kind of funny and we will destroy them, and we will have 5 gaming podcasts or streaming related podcasts in the top 5 on Apple Podcasts like they do. But they did 10 years ago when they first started their company. They did a "What Will Gaming Look Like in 10 Years" podcast, and it's been 10 years since they started it, so they actually got to go back and see what they got right and wrong. And they just did another one for the next 10 years. And one of the predictions they have, which I actually agree with, is we're going to start seeing less people chase the push for the next big push for a graphical leap. And we're going to see hardware on the lower end get pushed up, especially with things getting popular like handheld gaming PCs, like Steam Decks, the ROG Ally, all of those other products. We're going to start seeing companies more want to make sure that they can hit those benchmarks alongside with pushing the tech forward on the high end stuff.
Yeah, I think it'll get there eventually. I think the consoles are dying, and I don't think PlayStation has seen the writing on the wall. Microsoft has seen it, but Nintendo's Nintendo, and that'll never go away. There'll always be a handheld device of some sort from Nintendo to play their games.
Well, it's interesting because I think they also kind of do and don't see the writing on the wall, because now they have a Joy-Con mouse mode. Like, you can plug in a mouse and play games on there now.
That's why I'm saying, like, I think Microsoft with the Xbox moving it to like a mini PC essentially. They're trying to get out of the consoles. I think they're doing it slowly, and they just don't want to tell anybody they're doing it yet.
Yeah. Anywho, Panic and Gas, I'm giving you your podcast back.
No, it's good.
I was enjoying it.
I got another hot take if you want.
I was just thinking about VR and the things we can watch on VR.
Look, Howdy's Roomba doesn't need to be in VR.
Look,
shit'll get real quick.
I feel like that would be like that. That's that's a new feature at Cinema One down the road.
If only Paul Rubens were still alive.
Smell of moisture.
I don't think he would. I don't think he would go that route this go round. No, I don't think he would.
So let's hear your. Oh, never mind.
Let's hear what? Huh?
I was going to ask for Necro's other hot take.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
So, one of my biggest pet peeves with video games, right, with prices, okay, was back when you used to be able to get physical media, you could buy the collector's editions, and they were costing $120, $130. Now, you don't get that physical media. You're paying for a license key to access it. You can't play the game anymore without the disc. Everything's online now. So what happens when they shut the server down that's hosting your game that you can't go back to any longer? But they're charging the same price. Like, that irks me. Like, I'm paying for a video game that I want to be able to go back and play, install on my computer, and play it. But you no longer have that ability.
I think my biggest problem is you have to be online nowadays for most games.
Yeah.
That's where I have a problem. What if I don't want to be online? What if the power's out at my house and I have a generator and I'm going to plug my fucking PC up to the generator so I can play one of my games, but I can't play it because I don't have any internet?
Yep.
Now, I'm probably going to plug my router into the generator and have internet. Unlike
it's not the router you got to worry about, it's the ISP. You going to plug the ISP in?
Well, the nice thing is with EPB, everything, it's fiber optic, so it's not. So all you just have to have as long as that main router has power, you have internet, unless something goes down.
If you don't know, Chattanooga touts itself as the fastest internet speed city in America. They call it Gig City.
Challenge accepted.
Because and honestly, it's been great for bringing businesses into the community and stuff like that, because for business internet, we have the best internet in the country. So
I couldn't live without fiber anymore.
So we're actually
you have Google Fiber there.
I've got Frontier.
Okay.
Yeah, so EPB is actually getting ready to launch 25 gig.
Holy
here
crap.
in the next 2 years. It's only going to be available for business, but the 10 gig service is being sent out to the consumer.
I can get up to 7 right now.
Listen, I would settle for the 1 or 2 gig service to cross the state line at this point.
I have 2.5 gigs is what we pay for.
Yeah,
so
that's what I've got.
And I pay $80 a month for my 2.5 gigs.
Which you pay less than I do for my 1 gig download and 100 upload or whatever it is, because I have cable.
Oof.
I got 2.5 by 2.5, baby.
Yeah, I know. That's the beauty.
I actually just ordered a new mesh system for the house. Right now, I'm running the Wi-Fi 6, the Nighthawk mesh system, but I'm actually upgrading to the new Wi-Fi 7 Orbeez, which is going to be great. So that'll actually be able to handle my full 2.5 gigs wireless.
Yep.
So
it's
right now wirelessly, I get 700 by 700, which is technically the gig if you're, for the most part. Because if I'm hardwired in, I'm only getting, hardwired in, I'm only getting 920 by 980. So I'm getting that most of the gig service. There's a little bit of that drop, a little bit of loss, but not much. So, but yeah, I have 5 satellites at the house right now, and with the Orbi, I'll be able to drop back down to 3 and cover the whole. Be able to cover the whole
coverage.
Yeah. So the 3 satellites will cover up to 7,500 square feet.
Wow.
Jesus.
Yeah. So my 5 right now cover 4,100. And then some. I have internet out in the garage too, outside.
Yeah. That's still really good coverage from 3 access points.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's great. So, and then the Orbi actually has 4 ports in the back of each satellite and the actual router. So I can hardwire up to 4 devices per.
See, that's a nice feature to have on those, because you can just set them down. So like if you got a TV somewhere, you don't want to run an Ethernet cable and it doesn't have Wi-Fi, you can just piggyback it off of that, or that's a really nice feature to have on those. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, it's great. And then so you get so theoretically you get 80% per mesh satellite of the actual full. If you're hardwired in, that's not the wireless side. If you hardwire in, you get anywhere from 65 to 80% of the actual internet speed, which is still more than enough. If you remember back in the day, you had the Wi-Fi extenders that you'd plug into the wall, and all it was a fucking repeater, and you'd get
I have 2 power line adapters.
Yeah, you'd get 25% of the.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
Yeah, but it's 25% of the speed that it's getting there. So at the Wi-Fi extender, you're getting 300 meg, but then you get 10 feet from it, you're getting 4. 7. Yeah.
It's okay, I'm still next to the wall.
What's the point of this?
Yeah.
So yeah. That's coming. And then I'm actually probably gonna run networking jacks throughout the house once I finish this. Well, I didn't work for Ringgold Telephone Company installing fiber for 3 years for no reason. So
I would at least run it up to your streaming area, bare minimum.
Well, that'll actually. So I'm running 2 to the streaming area, 2 to the hangout room, because I'll probably have some kind of gaming system in here for the kids to play. Then I have 2 to the bedroom, 1 for my TV, my Amazon Fire Cube, and then my wife's work computer. And then 1 to the living room, which will be the other Fire Cube that I have. Well, the Fire TV that I have in the living room. And then 1 outside to the front porch.
The front porch.
for my front porch TV.
For the beer fridge, basically.
For the front porch TV.
It really is awesome.
I have a 60-inch TV on my front porch. It's a full covered front porch. So that's where we sit. That's where we sit and watch football during football season. Now I didn't buy. Here's the thing: I didn't buy a TV to go outside when I was doing apartment maintenance. People would like skip out and leave shit behind. So I got a 60-inch TV for free. So I was like, okay, that can go outside on my porch, and if it breaks, I don't lose anything. Yeah,
I'm not out thousands of dollars.
It's been an outdoor TV for the last 6 years with no issues.
And it's probably got another 4 in it too.
Yeah. And it's not even it's a Sanyo. Like it's not even a good TV.
Do they even make Sanyos anymore? Like that's a brand I have not heard of in a hot minute.
No, they don't. They don't. Like it pops up and it's got that red Sanyo label.
Yeah, because like Magnavox, Philips, Sanyo, RCA, Toshiba even have all gone by the wayside.
Toshiba turned into Insignia.
Ew.
Yeah.
Explains a lot.
So now
it used to be LG made, I think.
It used to Toshiba. Well, it still technically is. It's just their low end now, but it's actually gotten a little bit better now that they've integrated the Fire TVs into them. So they're actually building them a little bit better than what they were. So for your cheap
they're turning into Vizio is essentially what they're doing.
Yeah, they're for a cheap TV. Them and TCL are your two best choices. Yep. When it comes to an integrated smart service built into it,
like a Roku TV.
Well, TCL got smart. They dropped Roku. Well, they still make them, but they're looking to drop Roku and going to Google.
Oh, really?
It's their streaming service on the TVs, it's an Android based. It's better. Amazon's technically a somewhat Android based service. But it's just locked down. But it's a much smoother UI than Roku ever was.
Google's on my shit list. I've got a Sony in my living room that is just absolutely abysmally slow now, and it's run off of Google.
Yeah, and I didn't say Google was great, but it's better than Amazon, the Fire TV, Fire Stick, that stuff is ultimately the best online service outside of Samsung. Samsung's was it Tizen? Is it Tizen? I think it's Tizen.
Yeah.
Preston's got to go take a little shiddle. He'll be right back.
I didn't know if we were going to throw him under the bus.
So, who the fuck you think I am? I'm going to throw everybody under the bus.
And then throw it in reverse and back over you once, at least.
Hell yeah. And I had Taco Bell for dinner, so I might have to go shiddle myself.
I did too. I had it for lunch.
You might.
I already went and shiddled before the podcast.
So, but anyways, what I say, Samsung uses Tizen, which is actually a very smooth UI for like the streaming services. I mean, the Galaxy watches are actually great using that Tizen service. I don't care for Tizen on their actual cell phones. I'd rather just have the raw Android. But for what it is, it's still one of the better ones.
I like Samsung's UI. I hate their display. Like I do not like their picture at all. If I could take Samsung's like UI and stick it in like an LG or a high-end Sony,
yes,
I'd be golden all day.
Yes. So the TVs, all I have LG TVs. And then I have my Amazon Fire TV, which is actually who made it? It's not Insignia. It's the actual, the Omni Fire TV. They're high-end.
Is it Hisense?
I think Hisense made it, and it's Hisense very high-end.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to be the competitor with the Samsung frame, like the whatever they're the.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
And
so, fun fact: I used to work.
I
at
like
Best
it better
Buy
than the
Theater.
Samsung.
I used to work for Best Buy too.
I did not.
Like
I did
15,
not.
20 years ago.
I worked at Food
been
Line
10.
and Dollar General.
Yeah, no, I used to work for Best Buy's home theater department, and I would always do the audio and the video, like the high end stuff, like Magnolia Home Theaters.
Magnolia, yeah.
I would sell that crap left, right, and center because I love it.
What was it? The receivers that they all Denon.
So you got Denon's, you got Onkeos, you got Marantz, Bowers Wilkins, Martin Logan.
So I worked in the appliance department, and
so you sold washers, and so you're the one that sold the Roomba to
yes, exactly right.
Howdy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're at fault for the Roomba.
It's the special edition.
This has been
for Roomba.
This has been one of my more tame episodes, guys. I haven't called Howdy a bitch one time today.
Now you have.
Now you have.
I still didn't call him. I said I haven't.
So I have more than you do?
You do have more. Yes.
Panic, that's actually not true. You've called him a bitch once.
When?
At the very beginning of the episode.
I did not.
You did.
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah. You did.
See, it's just second nature now. He just doesn't even realize it.
Yeah. But I am proud of you. I am proud of you. You're becoming...
He's not even here to defend himself or the Roomba.
With your insults to Howdy. I think the next step is proposing I'm Howdy on Urban Dictionary as just the definition of bitch.
That sounds like a good idea.
So how do we make this happen?
I guess we just get on Urban Dictionary and I just write I am Captain Howdy, and then the definition is basic bitch.
A modern day bitch. A modern day basic bitch.
He's a pumpkin latte bitch.
We were doing so good, and now it's just happened like 8 times in a matter of a 30-second period.
He likes that cold foam, shaken not stirred, fucking pre-mixed shit. Speaking of straight up goodness going straight into your body and giving you that energy you need. Look, guys, we actually have a sponsor for our podcast now, and it is Energy Rocks.
Have you ever felt like you needed an extra boost of energy quickly? I know I have. Anybody who knows me or listens to Two Dads One Tub knows that I am a bit of a workhorse. Between work, live streaming, and working on 2 podcasts, I live my life at a fast pace. I constantly find myself tired from my day-to-day hustle and bustle, resorting to energy drinks that would just end up making me crash and repeat that cycle all over. Well, thanks to our sponsor, Energy Rocks, we don't have to live through that cycle anymore. Energy Rocks are like the retro pop rocks you had as a kid, infused with clean energy and focus-enhancing ingredients. Now you can have low-sugar candy with benefits. In less than 3 minutes, you feel the boost. All you need to do is pour these tasty pineapple mango or cherry berry crystals directly into your mouth. No pills, no mixing, just instant energy anytime, anywhere. Energy Rocks is candy with a purpose. Within minutes of putting these guys in your mouth, you'll feel a burst of energy to help carry you throughout your day. Energy Rocks have fast-acting caffeine equal to 1 to 2 cups of coffee plus L-theanine for smooth focus and no crash or jitters. Only 4 grams of sugar and vitamin B12 for added energy. They come in pocket-sized sachets, convenient and perfect for on-the-go boost. Not only that, but Energy Rocks provide energy without the bloat of a drink or hassle of swallowing pills, mixing powders, or chewing stale gummies. It's perfect for students, gamers, busy parents, entrepreneurs, gym rats, or anyone who hits a wall midday. Listeners of Two Dads One Tub can go to energyrocks.store/discount/2dads25off to order Energy Rocks today. Listeners of Two Dads One Tub can use 2dads25off to get 25% off their order. That's energyrocks.store/discount/2dads25off with code 2dads25off. Thanks to Energy Rocks for sponsoring this episode. Now let's get back to the show.
Yeah, we've just come to the conclusion that that Preston is just always poo bearing.
Here's the thing.
I mean,
you're not exactly wrong.
So weekly update. I did get yelled at by my mom again this week.
Oh God.
What did you do?
This time for Repent House. She was not a fan of my magazine idea. She found that to be very offensive. So my goal was met to offend my mom.
So do
So
I
we'll
tell
see what happens next
Huge
week.
cult hit if that was to actually become a thing and
So,
put in production.
do I stop the printing presses or what?
Oh no, we're fully putting that out. That's going to
Okay.
be in the Simpson gas stations as well.
You know, I went and hung out at my parents' house on
I thought
Monday.
that was going somewhere different.
On Monday, and they did not, like, my mom didn't mention Repent House to me. So I don't know if
she's secretly backing it. She messaged me.
I don't know. I don't know that she's on board.
She's 100% on board. She is financing that first issue.
So what's going to be the centerfold for the first issue? Like, it's got to make a statement.
I don't know. That's hard.
That's what people
Well,
are going to say after they
you know,
read
A,
Repent
a
House.
lot of things will be hard.
You know what's funny? I was actually thinking about this earlier. Not the centerfold idea, but I was thinking about like different issues that we could have, like the Samson and Delilah issue,
God.
the David and Bathsheba issue, you know, things like that. We
The
call it
Jezebels.
the
Jezebels.
David's love triangle, the issue. So yeah, I mean, we could do some kind of homage to Mother Teresa. You know, Joan of Arc.
Joan
of Arc would be a good one.
So
Joan of Arch.
Mother
So yeah, you know. I mean, if we want to get really edgy, we can do one called the Cardinal Sin.
That would be a good one.
We really could.
All I'm saying is Bible discussion study meetings are going to be the articles. We're going to have some good old-fashioned BDSM inside this magazine.
Look, every 6 months, you should also give out like a new ruler with it,
Listen.
like different designs of rulers.
Yes.
Listen, we could have a specific like members only membership that we could do and call it the Illuminati.
That's already
I
copyrighted.
like it.
That's already copyrighted. I know that for a fact.
Okay.
And it's not even a porno
So-
thing. It's a YouTuber.
Oh, yeah, let's not get on Illuminati.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Oh,
no,
we
not
could just
Illuminati.
call it. Look, we could call them the Pimpin' Popes.
Too real. Too real.
So, wait a minute. No, we could get away with Illuminati, except the word naughty is
That's what I was-
K-N-O-T-T-Y,
Oh.
as in it was naughty, all tied up.
Someone hired
or
a
the
fan.
nun, or the nuns are bringing the wood.
Or that too.
Okay. Well,
We can make this an idea. I'm on board for this.
Hail Mary.
Oh man, I think this conversation's a Hail Mary right now.
This conversation is making me shittle.
good Lord. Anyways, yeah. So Gas's mom is fronting the first issue. My mom is going to boycott it.
She might actually like protest it.
Like straight up Westboro Baptist Church out front of my house. I'd be the only person standing out front of my house with a giant sign that says, "You're going to hell if you don't get rid of Repent House."
Repent in this house.
Yeah. The only repenting done in this house. Anyways. There's so many good ideas. Like Repent House is a good idea. I don't know. There's so much we could do
We have
with
so many business ventures
in the adult market.
Okay, I wasn't going in that direction, but I'm saying like we already have 2 business ventures coming out of this podcast outside of the podcast itself. Now we got Bean Pickle,
Bean Pickle.
we got Bean Pickle, and we got Repent House.
Bean Pickles is the name of our future podcast network.
Yeah,
Bean
our
Pickle.
future
Yep.
production side of things.
Yeah.
How did the name come about? I'm curious.
I tried to say bean sprout or whatever it's called, and I said bean pickle.
He was trying to list all the podcast
So.
networks at the end of an episode, and he goes, on Spotify, on Apple, on Bean Pickle,
Bean pickle.
Pickle.
and then we roasted him for 5 minutes about it.
But now there's
So-
lore for it. So
Yeah, bean pickle's legit.
so yeah,
Ooh, hold on.
this is where it gets good.
Got another one. We do a calendar. And it's nothing but P&G tuber guys.
Are you
We don't even
suggesting-
give them the good. We don't even give them the good stuff. It's just a cartoon guy.
That's just
Not
hentai.
even quality. Nope, not even that quality. Just
So are you,
shitty, no details whatsoever.
so wait, hold on.
Don't
Stud muffins of the month.
Let me give an example, okay? Do you just want me to do my model, but I match the shirt skin tone of the little bean underneath my guy, and then just draw a little extra bump at the bottom of it?
Yes,
This
what I
little
mean-
bean sprout.
So
that's not a. It's not a controller he's holding, Preston.
listen.
is that a
can-
is that a controller in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
wait? So you're telling me even your P&G tuber is Pooh Bearing all the time?
No, so he's not Pooh Bearing because we made it look like he has something covering on the bottom half. It's on non-joking side, they are partially inspired by the Nintendo Mii's, a little bit of Paper Mario, and then a little bit of my own little extra flair added onto it. AKA, I didn't want to draw fucking legs.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair
I just
enough.
can't draw, so you're doing better than I am.
But no, yeah, okay. So didn't like that idea, but we do a calendar.
Okay.
We do a calendar, and we let the community choose
Ooh.
what each month is. What do we think?
Okay.
I'd be
If-
down with it.
If I know our community well enough, here's my pitch of what I think is going to happen. 1, we have 1 month just for the fact that we are too obsessed with this joke is going to be howdy in some form.
In a Roomba. Why is that even a question?
Like, see, I'm looking at chat, and immediately the next person who I thought was going to push their idea immediately piped up. It's gonna be llama with poop. It's gonna be one of them. We already know this. Number 3. Everyone we're messing up Chaos Goblin's name.
Yeah,
yeah,
the worship goblin.
Yep.
the Chaos Vessel.
Chaos Vessel.
Nope,
And-
that's just the name of a nun in Repent House. That's our centerfold. That's our
That's our
centerfold for
yes.
Repent House. This week's Chaos Vessel
Yes.
is Dolores Hart.
I was gonna say the next one on the calendar is Nurse Nancy and the Tiger Shark.
But it's me dressed as a nurse imposed on top of a tiger shark.
Which also has Gas's face.
I was gonna say, can we do Tiger King instead of a shark?
No, because then that's going to be one of them. Because one of Panic's goals for his stream is that he will cosplay as Tiger.
the Tiger
as
King.
Joe Exotic.
So I'm going to throw this out there. Any of the artists that are in the community, if you hear this and you want to design a T-shirt of Nurse Nancy and the Tiger Shark, maybe over the top of a lake of rolling waves of fire, that would be acceptable.
That would be pretty sweet. Just imagine George Washington riding a shark and just use a nurse instead.
Yeah.
Because that's freedom right there, is George Washington.
Just blowing in the breeze.
Yes. Yes. Oh, anyways. Okay, so calendar's not a good idea.
I'm not saying the calendar, no. I agree. Like, those are the things that are just going to happen if we do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not against it at all. Like,
Listen,
I feel like
here's the good thing is we have another 6 months, 7 months to plan this, because we're not going to release one mid-year. We're going to, that'd be a January
that's
release.
the whole point, Gas. You get a half-ass calendar.
No, see, you get it ready for like Christmas time, and you give them out as gifts.
Yeah.
Like to people that you like, you give them the calendar.
Night shift calendar giveaways.
Night shift calendar giveaways. It's about the same level of excitement that my community has when we tell them that we're giving away the PvE socks.
Wait, hold on. You're giving away PvE socks?
Do you want PvE socks? I'll send you PvE socks.
Dude, so for work, I wear the loud polos. I also wear goofy dress socks. Yeah. Like I wear those socks. Like I wore a pair of Twinkie socks today.
Twinkies?
Hey.
Yeah.
Twinkies are delicious.
For Christmas, you're getting PvE socks.
Hell yeah. I just yesterday I wore my 7-Eleven socks that I bought, funny enough, at Christmas time at 7-Eleven.
I was gonna laugh if you said you bought them at like QT or something like that.
No, that'd be great.
I'm at Target.
I bought them at Target. Dude, the Dollar Tree now sells socks. Like the dress. Like I bought a pair of Star Wars socks. I bought some Cookie Monster socks. Oscar the Grouch socks. And they're $1.25 a pair. I was like, hell yeah. It's like some nice dress socks.
There you go.
So
that's kind of concerning.
Well,
awesome.
What are they made out of is my concern.
They're actually decent. They're the same company that does. Well, I guess you probably wouldn't have. You know the lazy. Was it the Lazy One store up in like Gatlinburg that has like the pajamas and. Anyways, they do like pajamas and stuff like that. It's the same company that makes their pajamas and their boxers makes these socks. It's just Dollar General. Like the Dollar Tree gets to sell them at $1.25 a piece.
I wonder if it's because they bought so many of them.
They did. There was a crap. It's like one whole aisle of just goofy socks.
Damn. Don't pick up the stiff ones.
No. So we went and saw the Stitch movie on Sunday. Was it Sunday?
Yes.
So? Yes, Sunday. We went and saw the Stitch movie on Sunday. Well, we left the movie theater and went to the Dollar Tree. That's when I bought my socks. So I'm walking around the Dollar Tree, and my wife is a couple aisles over. This guy walks up to me out of nowhere. I thought he worked there because he looked like he would work there. But apparently he did not. He was just walking around with a Tupperware bowl of Windex. I don't know where he got the reason I thought he worked there is he went to the back room and come out with a Tupperware bowl full of Windex.
You sure it was Windex?
It was blue.
Could have been blue Jello.
No, it looked like Windex. It was some kind of solution. But anyway, so I'm sitting there, I'm looking at the snacks because who doesn't look at snacks at the Dollar Tree? And so I was just looking at the snacks, and he walks up to me and he goes, "You know what makes me mad? Is when the kids walk around and they'll pick something up and they'll just lay it down wherever." He goes, "They're not just doing that. Their parents teach them to do that. So it makes it harder on the store employees." And I looked at him and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I could see how that could make you mad." He goes, "It's only certain children." And I was like,
you got caught in an episode of Undercover Boss or something.
Oh, yeah.
"Oh, really?" No, I'm pretty sure this old man. So the Dollar Tree that we were at. So the city I live in is very diverse. Like it's a well-diverse community, a little bit of everybody. Pretty sure he was talking about everybody but the people that look like him.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just nodded my head. I walked over to my wife, and I said, "I'm pretty sure that man's racist. We need to leave.
We need to grab the kids and go.
We need to go." And then I told my
He
kids,
just needs some grippy socks.
look, and then I told my kids, "Do not set anything down unless it's where you got
I'm going
it."
to follow you with Windex.
So I thought he worked there, so I was gonna complain, and then he checked out. I don't think he paid for his Tupperware bowl full of Windex, but he bought a Kit Kat bar and left.
He might be dunking the Kit Kat in the Windex.
Oh,
He probably is. But my next thought was he might be homeless because we do have a lot of homeless people in that area. So it just a little bit of brain rot, and maybe he's just angry at the world.
Yeah. I can say from my time in law enforcement, a lot of homeless folk are folk that do struggle with mental illness, and it's just because they don't want to take the medications.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because they hate the side effects, which I wholeheartedly understand. Like the side effects that some of those drugs give them are worse than what their actual condition is. Like it's
even
insane.
just like when I was growing up, I had some friends in high school that were, ADD, ADHD, and some of them refused to even take the medicine for that. Like, like I knew this one girl that basically said that it made her feel like a zombie, and I get it. She's like, I don't feel like myself when I take that medicine. So,
there's a lot of the reason I got set in the corner of a room by myself facing the wall in school, because I refused to take my medication. And they also didn't know how to handle ADHD at that time.
No, it wasn't even a thing back then.
No, I was diagnosed in 91. I was 6. One of the first ones I took, and I took a non-stimulant medication called Silert. I was on that first clinical trial of it for kids, and it was fine. I think it worked. I don't know. I do know I got suspended for 10 days when the chief of police's twin boys, one of his kids got a hold of it, and then proceeded to tell them I sold it to him.
Yeah.
For a can of Coke.
Joke's on the boy, because it was the non-stimulant version.
I didn't do. Well, that's what I tried to tell him. I was
You're
like,
not even getting a benefit out of it.
So I was 14. So I was a freshman in high school when this happened. He was in 7th or 8th grade. What was 7th? Were they in 7th? Yeah, so 7th grade. They were in 7th grade, and they walked through the high school to go to the middle school. Because it's all our school is all on one campus: elementary school, middle school, high school.
Weird. Okay.
Is all on one campus. So they were walking through. So I had to take 2 of them. I was terrible at taking pills, so I'd have to get a sip of water, put one pill in, swallow, gag a little bit, and then repeat the process. So I set one of them down on the water fountain, and he just took it and walked off with it. I guess he thought he was getting something good, and I think he took it and realized it didn't do shit, and then, or he got caught with it and didn't want to get in trouble because it was not his. But I tried to tell him, I was like, it's not going to do anything for him. Yeah, it might help him concentrate. But I doubt that. So, needless to say, I got 10 days out of school for that, and I played golf with my grandfather every day.
Oh, it was so rough. However did you survive those 10 days?
My family was pissed.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, they were super pissed. But that's when our superintendent, who got in trouble for shoplifting, was the principal.
I didn't know that happened.
Oh God! Nobody play this for anybody in Chickamauga. Yeah. So this was 5 years ago. Yeah, she got at Belk.
Really?
At Belk, yes.
Of all stores?
Oh, so I thought that when you said it like happened when we were in high school. I'm so disconnected from stuff that
this is recent. And this person was still allowed to be our superintendent. After the fact,
like that
for the
goes
school
against
system.
the moral code.
Yeah, but she's part of that elite town folk.
We call it. We have a name for it.
Shiddles.
The Chickamauga Mafia.
No,
yeah, pretty
bag.
much.
No.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
well, what's crazy is that whole family's living a life of crime. The oldest, it just got put in jail. What?
Yeah, it's like, where's my monthly newsletter to keep up on this?
Listen, I live closer to Chickamauga than he does at this point, and I haven't heard these things.
Oh yeah, that's all. You'll have to look that up. I'm not gonna. Well,
Yeah,
no, he was convicted.
So that makes it okay.
Well, if he's in jail, yeah, he probably got convicted.
Can't come get us now.
Record. It's public record. Yeah, he got in trouble. He got drunk on a holiday, got into an argument with the neighbor, and proceeded to shoot in the direction of the neighbor. And was charged with attempted murder.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so assault with a deadly weapon and attempted murder.
Yeah, that'll do it.
So yeah, but that's the oldest son. I mean, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, yes.
He's Googling it right now. I can see the look.
No,
I'm
not Googling
but anyways,
right now. I was checking something else.
Man, we got a lot of good stuff. I know all the gossip from Chickamauga.
All right, listen. We talked about this the other day, Panic, and you said that you would tell this story. Do you remember the story that we talked about?
No.
Correct uses of certain words by your kids. I'm listening.
I can see the gears turning.
Cuss words?
Yes. Yeah. And getting praise outside of the school for it.
Oh, I was here for this conversation. Yeah. Okay.
Are we talking about the time that Emmeline told a kid she was going to whoop his ass?
Yeah.
In school?
Yeah.
Let me rephrase. Okay. So I have twin daughters. One of them is very... you don't use the word tomboy anymore, but that's the phrase that I'm going to use for this one. She's
that was socially
athletic.
correct in our time.
Yeah.
Yes. No,
athletic.
she.
Anyway, so she likes. She's very physical. She likes fighting.
Yeah.
She likes wrestling. She likes sports. She likes that kind of stuff. For the longest time, that's what she wanted to be when she grew up, was a wrestler so she could beat up boys. Which I was not against it. I was like,
Nope.
all right, you'll be single for the rest of your life, and I'm okay with it.
And I don't have to worry.
But no, yeah, this one kid, he was picking on her at school. He was picking on her at school, calling her names. And she typically gets called a lot of names, and she'll let it kind of roll off because she's just thick-skinned. And he said something to her about her sister, her twin sister. She proceeded to walk right up into his face and said, "If you say that fucking word again, I'm going to beat your ass."
I see nothing wrong with that statement.
Nope. We get a call from the teacher, who happens to be a friend that comes and hangs out with us outside of, like, drinks with us and stuff. We get a call. The teacher's laughing and said, "Hey, this is technically a parent-teacher conference, but first I want to applaud the usage of the terms, and they were used correctly, but your child said that she was going to beat somebody's ass for talking shit about somebody else." And the teacher used the word talking shit because it was a private conversation. So a big thing with our house, what you see here, as far as how I talk, my language, I don't censor anything in front of my kids. Now, we teach them that there's a time and a place. Yeah. So it's not, at their age right now, they are not to repeat it. Now, if we're at home, they're angry, they go to their room, okay, fine. You can use whatever you want to use to get your anger out, to regulate that emotion, whatever you need to do, it's fine.
Breed creativity.
Yeah. In public, they don't repeat those words. They don't use those words. They are upstanding citizens, is what we call them. So my 10-year-olds can correctly use just about every cuss word there is, and some other words, in a sentence. So,
that's impressive. I'm not even that's impressive.
Well, and I just don't, like, my parents always walked a fine line of, we're not going to cuss in front of the kids. We're not going to do this in front of the kids. And like there was a lot of, you can't do that, you can't do this, which led to me doing things that I knew I wasn't supposed to do. So our thought process, if we don't hide anything from them as far as that aspect and explain to them why they can't do it right now, but as they get older, that's going to change. They can, they're their own people. And it works out. Like Gas will tell you, they're very polite. They are well behaved. They will talk shit about you. Straight up.
Doesn't matter how old you are.
Yep. They talk shit about Gas. They talk shit about Bigfoot Stick. They talk shit about Bigfoot Stick more than I do. So,
if you don't know, Necro might not have met.
Oh, so Bigfoot Stick in our community is my cousin. Like, he's
the artist formerly known as Sir H2Os.
Yeah, Sir H2Os or Sir Waters. That's my cousin. My twins make fun of him more than I do. to his face.
So they're not doing it behind his back, at least.
His cousin also lives like 100 feet from my front door.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it tracks. Yeah. So, see, my parents were the ones that saw the line of let's not cuss and do all this kind of stuff in front of our kids, and overshot by like a country mile. Like, they were both military people.
Yeah.
Which did not work out well for me when it comes to racing and manners. I've learned things a few the hard way.
No toaster baths though, right?
No toaster baths, thankfully.
I'm a big fan of toaster baths. I think a lot of people should take toaster baths.
Yes.
But anyways,
they're very exfoliating.
Very, very. who was it? Was it Darwin that said survival of the fittest?
I'm down.
Yeah.
Remove all labels from all products. What?
Do what?
That was me speaking on the behind the scenes mic. I said, walking a fine line there on TOS, boys. Walking a fine line.
No.
What? I just quoted an artist.
Yeah, live, laugh, and
an author. Yeah.
Philosophizer.
Philosophizer.
Yeah, philosophizer.
Confucius say.
There's a lot of things that I've learned in the military that people are now trying to, like, there's a lot of stuff you see on like TikTok and you see on social media, and these people will tout it as their creation. And it's like, we've been saying that for years in the military.
Yeah.
Like that's a toaster bath is a normal, like that's a normal conversation topic, in the military. But no, I mean, yeah. So you grew up in a military household.
Oh yeah.
So you had that good strict raising.
So
yes and no.
Discipline wise, yes.
Discipline wise, yes. Behavior, no.
So,
behavior, no.
Rhetoric, no.
Yeah.
This is where Necro and I both connect because same.
Like, I remember like on the weekends growing up as a kid, we were told to get out of the house, don't come back until the sun goes down and streetlights turn on. And then our parents are 3 sheets to the wind playing sand volleyball on base housing with all the other drunk military parents, and then being hung over the next day and us having to take care of ourselves. So
that's normal.
Yeah.
That still happens.
I know. It builds character.
Lord. Oh, it does. It does. It teaches you how to be a functioning person in society.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, so a lot of people will say, oh, moving around as a kid, every 3 years is detrimental to them. Honestly, I don't see it as that. Like, yeah, it sucks going through it at that time. But in adulthood, it makes you so malleable to most situations because it does with so many people. And it does. It's an invaluable skill.
So I didn't grow up in a military family, but serving and traveling constantly. We had what we called home port, which is in the Navy, just home port. But I didn't do the whole boat shit. Like I didn't do the boat stuff. I did construction for the Navy, so we were boots on the ground, worked with the Marines, SEALs, we did a lot of the cool shit. We were so cool they made a movie about us with John Wayne himself. So, but and like I try to explain to people that traveling in the military, having to pack up in short notice. We were in Guam for a deployment, and it was a 10-month deployment to Guam. The tsunami happened over in, was it Thailand? I think this was 2009.
Yeah, I think so.
2009, they had the tsunami over in Thailand. The tsunami happened 24 hours later. We were on a ship headed to Thailand. We had to pack everything up in less than 24 hours, plus get all of our equipment loaded, all supplies needed for the trip, and humanitarian effort supplies to head to Thailand for cleanup and search and rescue. My first experience of cleanup and search and rescue with the military is I got out of boot camp, went to A school, got out of A school from Wichita Falls, Texas, went to my first duty station, which was Gulfport, Mississippi. That was August of 2005.
Oof.
What happened in August of 2005? Katrina hit.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was Katrina, wasn't it?
Yep. So Katrina hit the day before, made landfall the day before I flew out to Gulfport. So we had to wait 2 days. We flew into Hattiesburg, Mississippi, because you couldn't fly in anywhere else. Loaded up in a Humvee with my sea bag, drove down to the coast, checked in at the quarterdeck, got right back into another Humvee, and then spent 6 months in the 9th Ward living on a bridge in a tent doing cleanup in New Orleans for my first 6 months of my duty station. Finished that up, got back to Gulfport, spent the night in the barracks for one night, loaded a plane the next day, went to Okinawa for 10 months.
Wow.
So
It's fun, though.
Oh, I loved Oki. Oki is great.
Fun.
So, like my first
year and a half,
almost year and a half of the military, I didn't have a home. Like my home was wherever they put me. And you know, New Orleans gets the big publicity from Katrina, but like Gulfport, Biloxi, the whole Mississippi Gulf Coast was destroyed. Like the hurricane itself actually destroyed the Gulf Coast. Katrina was destroyed by poor engineering by the Army Corps of Engineers, but you know they all can't be CBs. So,
I was waiting for the jab.
So, you know, if they would have hired and brought in real construction workers to do that shit, it wouldn't have broke.
Hey man, they used science.
Yeah, that's what they try to tell you in the Army Corps of Engineers, but their science.
Look, it's not the chair force, so I've got to give you credit either way.
Look, don't even get me started on the pink ponies. Sorry for those that do not know, the pink ponies is Red Horse. That is the Air Force's version of the Seabees. Yeah, you know what they do? They babysit.
Yep.
They watch foreign nationals or contractors come in and do the work. And then they're like, "Oh yeah, we built that." No, you didn't.
Yep.
You were leaned up against a post.
Here's the thing. I love all the military people, right? Like, I appreciate every single one of y'all for serving. I will give crap to every branch of the military. I don't mean it in any negative light. I just want to put that out there in case somebody like pops in and it's like, "Rrr." I'm like, no. I love my military people. I'm going to rib the crap out of you.
And me personally, I don't give a shit what you think. I can talk about whoever the fuck I want.
Yeah, I don't talk crap about the military. I love the military. The only part of the Air Force that I do actually like have the utmost respect for is the PJs. Those dudes are nuts.
Oh, they're great. Now, here's the thing. I talk shit about Army Corps of Engineers. I talk shit about Red Horse. I talk shit about fleeters, which is the term that we use in the CBs for the other Navy guys.
The boats.
The ones that go out on a ship and come back as couples.
Those are submariners. Get it right.
Well, and carriers. That's just a whole city of.
It really is.
So, there is a difference. But no, like I mean, in all honesty, you know, I'm gonna go to bat for every single one of them because they chose to do something that most people like. They're part of that 1%. Mentally part of that 1%.
Your Urban Dictionary count is wrong for me. Thank you. I'm up to 3.
Yeah,
he's gonna shiddle if you don't get it right.
He's kicking my ass on that one.
So Bach has been really good about only counting it if you're using it in the correct context.
He's used it correctly.
Be in context?
Yeah, in the correct context. So if you're saying the definition is shit a little, it means to shit a little. So if you're not using it in that context, it's not being counted as a point.
Well, I just shittled at the score because damn it.
That's a point.
There.
Damn
Now
context.
So,
but anyways, that's awesome. I didn't know you grew up in the military household. There's a lot of respect from my side on that one because that's a completely different animal than the service side of things.
Like my parents were gone 6 to 12 months, at least once a year. If not longer.
That's the hardest part.
Did they both serve?
Yeah. So both of my parents were. My mom retired as a chief out of the Navy. My dad retired as a senior chief out of the Navy. We're both Airedales.
Okay.
So they'd go on deployments. we'd go down to the grandparents for 6 months, a year, not knowing if they're going to come back or not because they're doing whatever they're doing over there. They were chasing submarines.
And for those that don't understand Chief and Senior Chief, that's E7 and E8.
Yep.
That's just shy of being the highest ranking enlisted member. But
so, yeah, it's one of those whole family things. I didn't. I went law enforcement route. So, oops.
Nothing wrong with that.
I grew up the lineage.
So what was their actual rate?
My mom was a yeoman, did all the admin paperwork and all that stuff. And then my dad was an IFT. I think he was an AT1 by the time he finished
AT1.
it.
Yeah.
Yep. So he did a lot of cool stuff, like a lot of cool stuff.
And see, I was a UT, so a utilitiesman.
Yep.
Did plumbing and HVAC. Funny story is, so in 2012, when I went to go re-enlist for my next 4, a certain president was in office, and that was when the downsizing happened for the overmanning after 9/11. So when Bush was in, they overmanned certain branches, certain aspects of different military forces, and just so happened the Seabees was one of those that they went heavy manning for because of airstrips, repairs, and things like that in the Middle East. So I fell into that category. So they told me, like, they said, you can't re-enlist with the Navy, but you can re-enlist whatever other branch. Like, you can go to the Army, Air Force, Marines. I was in E5 at this time, getting ready to take the E6 exam. So they told me, well, I told them, I said, well, I'm not going to take the E6 exam. I can't stay in. Like, there's no point. I'm not going to take it. It takes away from whoever else is going to take it.
Yep.
And their response was, you have to take it.
But I'm getting out.
Yep.
Like, why does it matter?
So my response was, well, fuck you. If I've got to take it, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
So I made E6. I got frocked 3 days before I got out of service.
Which sucks because there's somebody else that didn't get to fill that billet for that.
I took E6.
For that spot.
I took E6. I took an E6 spot, especially in a rate that was hard to advance in. So, because it took me 2 tries to make E5, it took me 1 try to make E6, but there was a whole purpose behind that one.
That was I'm going to stick it to you because of this.
Yeah. And so I made E6, got frocked, and I looked at them and I said, do I get to stay in now? And they said, no, you still got to get out.
So why would they let you cross rate?
So the choices I had a choice to cross rate, but the choices that were open were not, I was not doing.
Nope, I'm with you.
One of them was storekeeper, which had changed to, it was SK, but it was now, forgot what they changed it to. Something stupid. They combined 2 rates. And then the other one was EA, which was engineering aid, which is basically a surveyor. And I was like, no, I'm good.
The storekeeper would have been like chains on you, though, because you're going from outside being all over the place to being stuck in a damn room all day.
Yeah, and so... And the only billets that were open, the only stations that were open for SK was ships. So I would have went from 8 years of a completely different thing to going on to an aircraft carrier or something else, and that would have been miserable. So I did call around, like I called the Army. The Army wasn't taking, at that time, they weren't taking prior service, because they were in a downsizing moment at the time as well. The Air Force said no, because I was technically overqualified.
Did you actually did a day's labor?
Here's the problem with the Air Force. So when I called the Air Force, The only jobs that I could go into the Air Force for were construction jobs because the rate had to, like, my rate had to transfer over to their MOS.
Yeah.
And Red Horse wouldn't take me, and the straight construction force wouldn't take me because I was dual licensed. So I was actually licensed in plumbing and HVAC, thanks to the Navy, because that was my 2 jobs, and got both licenses. I straight up told them, I said, I'll pick one. Like, I'll just do one.
You tell me which one. That's the one I'll keep.
So, utilitiesman and what was the other? Utilitiesman and construction electricians were the only 2 the Air Force wouldn't take. So, out of the CBs, they'll take everybody else, but they won't take. But
That's
everybody
so dumb.
else, yeah, it was dumb. I was like, damn it, I could have just stood there and watched people work for the last 12 years of my service.
Yep.
Because funny thing is, I would be retiring from the military this year.
Yep.
At 40 years old. The Marines was a no-go straight from the get-go because you had to start over. The Marines do not.
Basic. It does not matter.
Yeah. You do not get to keep rank. You start all the way back over at E3, and you got to go through basic again. And I told them they could go fuck themselves.
No, and like that's just the Marines, though. They want everybody the same, no matter what. It doesn't matter what you've done, what you've seen, who you are, what licenses you have. You are going to be stripped back down to base rank. You're going through boot camp. You're going from the ground up.
Which is my brother's favorite part about the Marines as a drill sergeant. Because sometimes he'll get someone from another branch, and he'll be like, "Looks like you're back at the bottom again."
Yep.
Yeah, and another reason I said no, being a CB, we had served with plenty of Marines. So my last duty station, I was actually a weapons and tactics instructor at the regiment. So I did a year and a half at small arms range and taught the new guys that come in, the new troops coming in. I did their range quals, their PFCs, all that kind of stuff. And then the last year and a half of the 3 years that I was there, we did patrols, field exercises, taught the 50 cal, Mark 19, and the 240 Bravo. Taught qualifications on those, as well as doing field patrols while doing field exercises, where we proceeded to. I've got stories from our field exercises as an instructor. I dressed up in a Sasquatch suit in the middle of the night and ran around in a field, yelling at people. But anyways, my OIC for that duty station was a Marine Corps lieutenant, Butterbar.
Okay. Yeah.
Lieutenant Lejeune was his name. Yeah, he got made fun of quite a bit. He was a cool dude. And he made it a point to tell us I'm not related.
Are you sure?
Yeah. So, but no, yeah, like the field deck, that was probably my favorite. Time frame in the military was as an instructor. The Sasquatch, that's what we called PsyOps. So we would wait till we were like a week and a half in. And these people that are sitting in foxholes defending their camp have been up for 24 hours straight, if not longer.
And they're tired.
They're tired. They're seeing shit, and they see this giant Sasquatch come running out of the woods. So that's stories for another time.
I live for.
That's stories for another time.
I'll bring it back up later on another episode.
Definitely. But hey, remember,
hold up. Where can everybody find you, Necro?
You guys can find me on Twitch. It is the _necromancer_ and the is in the beginning of it. YouTube is the same and TikTok is the same. I do not have any other socials right now. But I will be on here in the night shift community, collabing with a lot of folks. I collab a lot.
You can find him in a back room.
Working with Cat 5 cables.
Hey man,
yeah.
Actually, I some good some good cabling. I do love me some good cabling. I live for the cleanups.
Programming Roombas.
You can find me on Twitch and TikTok under Gasafras Panic.
Same thing. You can find me on TikTok, Panic at the Ditto, Twitch, Panic at the Ditto, YouTube, Panic at the Ditto, and the artist formerly known as Twitter, Panic at the Ditto.
Our behind the scenes expert.
You can find my Twitch social for me and Elijah on mainly TikTok. We also have an Instagram, but we don't use it anymore. At Preston.versus.Elijah. I'm going to shamelessly plug our 24-hour stream happening Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Gas and Panic will be on there for about 5 hours. We're doing this week's episode of the PvE podcast. We are ranking all of the Pokemon generations on a tier list. It is going to get spicy between Elijah and I because we both love Pokemon, and we will.
I have opinions.
Oh, we both are very opinionated, and we both have two vastly different favorites for the best generation of Pokemon. You will hear all about it.
When is this happening?
This will probably be on the Saturday portion, probably in the morning on Saturday live, and then it'll get posted on Sunday this week instead of Friday. But I also want to shout out one more thing for those who are in the NS community. Elijah and I are hosting the weekly raid this week. If you're listening to the podcast version, you missed it. It was yesterday. Oopsie. But if you're watching live, you can go watch that. But also go to youtube.com/Preston versus Elijah to see the dumb thing that we're doing as everyone is entering into our stream. For the raid, we're going to post a clip of that. You do not want to miss out on the dumb bullshit Elijah and I have planned as we're going into the raid stream tomorrow. It's ridiculous.
Panic, no lie. He told me what they were doing and I forgot. So I'm going to be just as surprised as everybody else.
Gotcha. I thought I was in trouble.
I have people in chat asking twerky or no twerking. No twerking, but get ready for basically one giant shit post. Just be ready. And then if you want to follow me personally, I don't post on it often. If I do, I am doing a shitpost edit that I've made. One of them is about Grums. So if you want to follow me on my personal TikTok at probably Preston H.
Probably Preston H.
Probably.
Just to remind everybody, we do record the podcast live on Wednesday nights like we did tonight, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time on the Night Shift Community Twitch and YouTube channel. And then we also upload these episodes Friday at 6 a.m. Eastern time. So be ready for that. Guys, one thing that we really got to ask this time is please download the episode, even if you hung out with us tonight. It helps us out. It helps us get more sponsors, or it helps us get eligibility for more sponsors and things like that. It really it means the world to us, you guys, to support us. I mean, as random as this has gotten the last few weeks, it's still the Night Shift Community Podcast to a certain degree, and we still love to hang out with you guys live in the stream. But please go download the episode, rate it 5 stars, leave us a review on whatever podcast service that you prefer, and don't forget we have the Night Shift merch store, and there are some podcast merch on there. There's some Night Shift merch on there. Hopefully going to do a little bit of a revamp on that coming up in the very near future. And
got some really cool stuff coming.
Yeah. And then,
gonna
as
make it
always,
a little bit prettier.
And then, as always, we're staying around for the Q&A after a quick break. And I think that the text link has been going around, so definitely hit that up if you want to ask a question, or just hang around and chat and ask us a question then. But anyway, guys, we love y'all. Till next week.
Rub-a-dub-dub.
Thanks for hanging in the tub. Cheers, Necro.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Shiddle.
Night shift blues, so we fire up the stream. Two dads raising hell, chasing whiskey dreams. Soap suds spilling like some midnight truth. Talking live from the tub, don't need no booth. Two dads, one